They keep showing up at the range. Same guys, same guns, and every time it's one of these. Not what's trending online, not the ones dealers push. These are the pistols that work because they've been worked hard. Arizona heat, Georgia rain, dropped, dragged, run dry, left dirty, run dry, left dirty, and still running regardless. The ones guys won't trade in even when they're upgrading. No flash, no hype, just these guns that dominate 2025 without saying a word. Start with number 10 and watch who's being replaced. Nobody expected this thing to show up and start winning, but that's exactly what it did. While everyone kept talking about the usual names, the Springfield Echelon just stepped in, stayed quiet, and started dominating those lanes. You pick it up, and it feels like it was built for a fight, not a shelf. The grip locks in without chewing up your hand, the slide tracks clean, and the trigger, clean wall, crisp brake, fast reset. No drama, no nonsense, just solid, repeatable action, shot after shot. It's not here to entertain you, it's here to outperform the ones that cost more and promise less. What really pushes the Echelon into this list is how well it holds up under pressure. Drop it, drag it, dunk it, it doesn't care. The internals are locked into a modular chassis that shrugs off abuse. You'll reload before this thing even hesitates. And don't let the lack of hope fool you. The folks who run guns already know what this is. It's a workhorse with duty bones and street reflexes. And in 2025, it's not here to compete, it's here to replace. Look, if you've been around pistols long enough, you already know that the CZ75 lineage isn't some marketing gimmick, it's battle-proven steel. But what sets the SP01 Tactical apart is how it chews through any ammo like it's starving. This ain't your polymer-framed wannabe. It's all metal, hammer-fired, and built like a check tank. When folks say it's too heavy for carry, I say that's not the job. This beast was made for range dominance, competition slaps, and real-world knockdown reliability. Now, many people online say this gun is ridiculously accurate, like put 5 holes into 1 accurate. Others claim it's the smoothest double action they've ever pulled without dropping $2,000 on a custom job. And guess what? It's not just all feel. This thing runs filthy. Owners brag about dumping hundreds of rounds through it bone dry, and it still runs smooth. No hiccups, no drama. And don't let that classic look fool you. This thing's got decocker, accessory rail, night sights. It's tactical through and through. But you'd better believe it's not some plastic toy. It's got weight, recoil control like butter, and zero compromise. In 2025, with all these flyweight striker guns flexing, the SP01 Tactical just shows up and says, "Shut up, I'm still better." And it is, period. You think this one was built to dominate? The next one was built to end arguments. You know what's really funny? Most people will walk right past the Masada Slim at the gun store because it doesn't scream for attention. It's not dripping in serrations or painted up like a tactical candy bar. But when you shoot it, and suddenly everything else feels sloppy. This thing doesn't care about trends. It's built for performance. Straight line cycling, a crisp brake on the trigger, a recoil that feels like someone installed a secret dampener. You pull fast, it stays flat. You hold tight, it stays centered. In the end, it just runs. And it's slim in all the right places. None of that weird microgun cramping. This one melts into a holster without sacrificing grip. Even dudes with thick hands are surprised how stable it feels under pressure. Online forums packed with folks saying this outperformed their Hellcat, their P365, even their Glock 43X. No drama, no jams, No excuses, just consistent, controllable fire. It's not the loudest gun on this list, but if you're looking for something to carry that won't let you down when it matters, the Masada Slim is one of the only polymer pistols that walks the walk without begging your attention. Let's be real. Most guns that slap tactical on the box are lying right to your face. It's a marketing label half the time made for desk guys who've never shot past 50 rounds. But the FN509 Tactical, that one earned the name. From the moment you rack the slide, you can feel it's built to handle pressure. Pressure from suppressors, optics, bad weather, or just plain abuse. I've put this pistol through range sessions and heat that had other guns stuttering. This one never missed a beat. The slide cycles hard, the controls are beefed up just right, and the threaded barrel doesn't throw off your balance like it does on some cheaper setups. And those 24-round mags, they ain't there for show. They're there because when something actually goes wrong, you don't want to be halfway empty. The trigger's not dreamy, but it's clean and predictable. That's all I care about. This ain't no flex gun, it's a fight gun. And if I have to choose something to throw in a bag during an emergency, the FN509 Tactical would be one of the first that I'd reach for. No guessing, no nonsense, just built to win. And if you thought that was sharp, wait till you see what runs like a scalpel on steroids. I've said it before, I don't care how many folks keep worshiping Glock like it's untouchable. The M&P9 M2.0 metal is the kind of pistol that doesn't just compete, it shuts that conversation down. The moment you pick this baby up, you'll feel that weight, that balance, that raw steel grip that doesn't want to slip even when your palms are soaked. It doesn't need some flashy optic-ready gimmicks or gold accents. It just works better, heavier, and cleaner. The recoil impulse, flatter than most of the polymer junk I've ever shot. Reset, snaps back with attitude. And the slide, tight as hell. No rattles, no wiggle. Just slam it forward and go to work. I've personally dumped over 1,200 rounds through mine without a single failure. Not one. Even after that dusty range day in Texas where the mags were basically eating dirt, this thing never coughed. People still keep asking if it's as reliable as a Glock. No, it's not. It's more than that. It feels like it was made to throw fists, not just rounds. But hey, if you think that's mean, wait till you see what's hiding behind the Taurus batch next. This isn't the Taurus you're picturing. Forget the plastic triggers and wobbly cylinders. The 856 executive grade feels like something that accidentally slipped out of a Smith & Wesson factory and got stamped with the wrong logo. Stainless steel frame, hand-polished internals, that cleanest glass DAO trigger. Taurus must have fired the whole budget team to build this thing. I stopped by a dealer town in Dallas and dropped this gun on the counter. Dude picked it up, flipped it open, and went quiet. He finally mutters, "You sure this is a Taurus?" That's what this revolver does. It confuses people because it's not supposed to be this tight, not supposed to feel this balanced, and it sure as hell isn't supposed to make Ruger guys nod silently. In 2025, this thing didn't just show up, it dominated the quiet corner of revolvers no one talks about and made damn sure people started talking again. There's no rear sight, and it's not for appendix carry. But as a dedicated nightstand gun or a backup 38 that doesn't suck, you'd be stupid to ignore it. Coming up next, a full size that's been taking over range bags and patrol holsters when nobody was watching. This isn't your average race gun. The Canik SFX Rival-S didn't walk into 2025 quietly. It slammed the door open and started cleaning house. You hold this thing, and it's like every ounce of weight was engineered to tell your hands, "Relax, I got this." All metal frame, that ridiculous flat-faced trigger, and slide cuts that look like they were made by someone who's done time in a CNC machine shop. I'm telling you, there's something sinister about how fast this gun gets on target. It doesn't bounce and it doesn't stutter, it just locks in. It locks in. And people I talk to, guys who shoot IPSC and Steel Challenge every other weekend, they're dumping rounds through this thing and smiling like they just stole it. You want domination? It's not just winning matches, it's replacing other guns on the bench. Guns that cost $400 more are getting traded off for a Canik with a factory trigger that barely makes a sound. And if you thought the full-size market was competitive, just wait. Next up is a polymer pistol that proved metal doesn't always mean muscle. They've been whispering online that the original PX4 Storm might be getting quietly discontinued. I've seen forums talking about Beretta pulling it from shelves in Europe already. Whether that's true or not, I don't care, because the 2.0 version feels like the old man just got a second win and came back swinging. This isn't your average striker-fired plastic slab. It's hammer-fired, rotating barrel, smooth as hell slide, and the new 2.0 touches upgraded trigger feel, refined ergonomics, and slicker slide finish just make it feel like it's finally been unchained. This thing controls recoil like it's got some hidden tech inside of it. And the reset, sharp, clean, and fast. I've run this thing side by side with polymer Wonder Guns, and the PX4 just stays flatter. Nobody wants to admit it, but this thing dominates in 2025 the same way it did years ago. It's the pistol equivalent of a Marine vet who still outshoots the younger guys at the range. Less talk, more hits. And if Beretta really is unsettling the old PX4, well, the 2.0 just gave it a damn fine legacy. Next up, a Turkish-built all-metal monster that embarrasses most race guns out of the box. You are not ready for this. You ever walk into a dealer at 11 a.m. and hear, G45? Sorry, sold out. That's not hype, mind you. That's pressure from people who already know what works. The Glock 45 MOS isn't flashy, and it's not your buddy's Gucci carry piece, but when it comes to raw balance, full grip, short slide, and optics cut, this thing dominates the crossover market, and I mean dominates. You've got the Gen 5 internals, forward serrations. It handles like a duty gun, but runs like a competition setup, and you're not sacrificing concealment either. It's like Glock stopped trying to please purists and finally gave people what they wanted. I've seen guys ditch their tricked out 17s and 19s just to get back to this one. And I had a little chat on Reddit the other night. Guy said he's over 800 rounds deep with 0 malfunctions. Not a flex, mind you, that is proof. Other folks calling it the best Glock they've ever owned, period. But here's the thing. If you think this one's aggressive, the next pistol on this list makes it look like it's still in training wheels. This isn't the better version of anything. It's the version that leaves others chasing. The PDP Compact walks into the compact class and starts rewriting the rules. The grip locks your hand in, the slide tracks with surgical consistency, the factory trigger feels like a tuned monster right out of the box. Short wall, crisp break, and a reset that dares you to run fast. Don't get it twisted though. I'm not saying it's perfect. Some shooters online complain about the stock sights or occasional hard primers, but the folks who actually shoot for results, they don't care about spots or jokes. They talk about how after 3,000 rounds, the PDP in long-term tests didn't show major deviation. Others note its dynamic performance trigger and steel frame version breaks clean and consistent. There's a whisper in forums that you'll occasionally find a model that box on sketchy ammo, but those are rare and usually user error. People I meet across ranges say it feels like spring-loaded intent. Not nervous, not screaming, but confident. Some call it their fallback when everything else is failing them. If you think this compact is dominant now, The bonus picks, they're moving beyond domination. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. A revolver in 2025? But here's the twist. This isn't some dusty nightstand wheel gun. The Ruger GP100 match champion has been showing up in all the wrong places and winning. I spotted it first in a Steel Challenge video where the guy outran Polymer Boys with 6 shots. Then a buddy at my range brought one in and started drilling groups so tight I thought he swapped the barrel. This thing's got a trigger that feels like it's been custom tuned, a full lug barrel that eats recoil like candy, and sights that aren't just good for a revolver, they're just plain good. It's heavier than your Glock, but that's the point. You don't flinch, you don't rush, you just send 6 rounds like they were fired from a turret. Some folks online say it's overbuilt, well, I say it's overprepared. This isn't for everyone, but if it clicks with you, you'll never go back. In a world obsessed with red dots and striker fires, this 6-shooter walked in wearing polished shoes and slapped the Polymer crowd across the face. But if you think that's wild, wait till you see what comes next. Back in the day, the Glock 19X was a weird-looking outsider. Tan slide, full-size grip, compact barrel, even the diehard Glock guys didn't know what to do with it. It didn't win the military contract, and for a while, folks wrote it off as the misfit Glock. But here in 2025, this thing is dominating. Not because it's trending, oh no. Not because it's flashy, no way. But because it flat out refuses to quit. It's in the holsters of guys who actually run their guns. It's in bug-out bags, patrol kits, range days, no hype, just trust. My friend at a Texas gun shop told me they've sold more 19X units this year than nearly any other full-size Glock. He said people come back for it after trying everything else. There's something about the way it balances, the way it handles heat, dirt, whatever. It just doesn't stop. Glock didn't need to reinvent anything. They just gave folks a tool that works, and in 2025, that's exactly what's cutting through the noise. Next up, though, it's something no one expected to make this list. Let's just say it brings pure chaos in a compact frame. Alright, I wasn't planning to include a rifle, but when I borrowed this SIG MCX Spear LT from Arthur for a few days, I knew this had to go in. This gun doesn't just shoot, it takes over the range. Feels like the kind of rifle built by someone who's done more than just read a manual. Lightweight, balanced, slick ambi controls, and it runs like a machine that's been through war and came back bored. Dumping a mag through it, I thought, cool, and then I burned through 5 more without blinking. Recoil, barely a bump. Suppressed, smooth as hell. I didn't even need to adjust because the gun did that. And that monolithic upper just keeps everything tight, stable, zero flex. The trigger reset is crisp. The ergonomics make you forget you're holding something that could do real damage. And yep, people stop and watch this thing. Hell, even the AK crowd shuts up. In 2025, guns like this don't just show up, they dominate. The only reason I didn't keep it, Arthur's text said, bring it back or else. Now listen, 25 shells in a shotgun, that's not dominance, that's straight up overkill. And I mean that in the best possible way. I borrowed this beast from a guy at a private range who called it the most overcompensating shotgun ever built. And he wasn't kidding. The KelTec KSG25 is long, comically long. It looks like he strapped 2 shotguns together and gave up on subtlety halfway through. I had my doubts, I will admit. That many shells in a tube usually spells trouble, but I ran 15 shells through it without a single jam. Smooth cycling, no hangups, just unfiltered destruction. The balance is weird. The recoil is manageable, but it's not the kind of thing you shoulder lightly. It's a commitment to noise, to length, to making sure nobody walks through that doorway. No, it's not practical. Tactical? Not really. But terrifying? Absolutely. There's something about the visual presence of the KSG25 that shuts down arguments before they start. You don't carry this to win friends, you carry it to end problems. So if you're still chasing specs and price tags, that's your choice. But the guys who actually run their guns, who train, carry, and count on them, already made theirs. These aren't wish list guns, these are work guns. The ones that'll still fire when your hands are wet, cold, or shaking. Now you've seen the guns that won't let you down. But the next ones, they're even more dangerous because nobody saw them coming. Hit that next one, I'll be waiting. This has been your boy Steve. Stay sharp out there, homies.